Did anybody last night watch a thing called The Debate? That was a big one. But as you saw on television last night...
Folks, let me close with this. I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious. Well, I know.
Both Trump and Biden just wrapped up their post-debate campaign rallies today, and I want to talk about both of them because truly the liberal cope over a Biden speech that was objectively not that good is off the charts. It is measuring on the Richter scale. So welcome to today's video. If you like the content, as usual, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. But yeah, long story short, debate was yesterday. We know how it went. We know that Biden was a disaster. So both candidates today held their campaign rallies. And of course, specifically for Joe Biden, this was his big moment where he really had to try to save the election. This is a desperate hour for Joe Biden. So he starts off by holding his campaign rally in North Carolina, which of course I immediately look at that and ask the questions, why North Carolina? Because you would think, after last night, you're not exactly in the opportunity to play offense. North Carolina is a state that Joe Biden lost in 2020. And according to the RCP polling average, he is on track to lose by a pretty wide margin in 2024. On average, Trump leads in the North Carolina polls by 6.7%. A lot of the polling aggregates have straight up taken North Carolina out. And so I would think, again, after what you saw last night from Biden, you're not worried about North Carolina. You got to be rushing to Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, the states that are actually going to matter and provide you a path to 270, and desperately trying to right ship. But again, you see the seriousness of the Biden campaign going to North Carolina for some reason. Now, Trump, in his own respect, did do his rally in Virginia, and you could make an argument that, okay, well, Trump doesn't look like he's going to win Virginia either. So is that the same logic? But I would still say no, because first of all, the polls actually have Trump much closer in Virginia than they have Joe Biden. A lot of the polling aggregates have Trump within 1 to 2 points. Joe Biden is down 6 to 7 points in North Carolina. So that is a big difference. But also, when you consider the context of what actually happened last night, Trump got a huge victory out of the debate. So he's allowed to get aggressive. He's allowed to take the victory lap. Joe Biden desperately playing defense. Again, why are you wasting your time on North Carolina? I just have absolutely no idea. But that said, this is what happened. So getting into how both of those rallies went, let's start off the gate because I've heard a lot of liberal propaganda lately that Trump can't fill up his crowds anymore. Not a lot of people are coming to his rallies, which is, of course, ridiculous and cope and projection when you see a video of literally any Biden rally. But just to give you an idea, because again, for some reason, Harry Sisson and all these Democrat influencers always want to get into a crowd measuring contest with us. Okay, let's do that. So here you see a video of Donald Trump's crowd in Virginia today. And as you can see, it is, decent size, pretty big. All right. So this is a pan around of the crowd, people all where the eyes can see. All right, you can tell on this camera is still panning around 360 view. A lot of people there. A lot of people are usually there for most Trump rallies. But Harry Sisson himself, of course, the annoying Biden TikTok kid, posted a picture trying to brag, as you can see here, about Biden's packed house for his rally in North Carolina. And as you can see, this is a picture he's posting trying to show how big the building is. Yeah. Way less people. Okay. And so, I'm not saying crowd size wins elections. I've never said that. But since, again, they want to always get into these crowd measuring contests with us, let's just point that out. Who has the momentum following the debate? It is objectively Donald Trump. But there's a clip going around now where the Democrats, again, they're trying to cling to any last bit of hope they can, saying that this rally by Joe Biden in North Carolina today saved the election. Okay, stop panicking. The panic is over. We got this election in the bag because Joe Biden came out, gave a speech, and was talking like this. Take a listen. Again, this is what the Democrats are saying is going to save them in the election. All right.
Folks, let me close with this. I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious. Well, I know. Well, I don't. Folks, I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
So again, this is the video that Democrats are saying is going to save them the election. All right, so let's break that down. First of all, my question is this. How come Joe Biden at last night's debate is like, you could barely understand him, he had no voice. And then suddenly today, this is less than 24 hours later, all of a sudden his voice is back and he's screaming.
I'm serious. Failing, I don't know, a president wouldn't trade places with America in a heartbeat.
Okay, and you look at other videos of the speech, he's screaming even louder than he was in this clip. So immediately, I look at that, and even if you're not like a partisan conservative, maybe you're undecided in this election, but you've heard the rumors, hey, maybe Biden's on drugs, what is going on with this guy? His health is in question. Well, if you look at the debate where 24 hours ago, he's totally unintelligible, and then the very next afternoon, he's screaming on national TV. Doesn't that make you ask questions? Again, the Democrats are saying, wow, we can't believe this. It's like, so does this confirm Biden is on drugs or he's on some type of medical cocktail? Because that's not normal. How did his voice magically come back? Or what was going on to him last night? You said he had a cold. Did his cold just go away in the span of 24 hours? Like, the whole thing really doesn't add up and make sense. So that's point number one. But point number two, even if you want to say that Joe Biden screaming like a lunatic actually proves that he's alive, you know, all the energy and health concerns, he's actually doing okay. Well, fine. But people are seriously saying that this speech today somehow erases the debate performance from last night. Let me drop a little spoiler alert on some of these Democrat pundits. You may have been watching this rally, but this was on a Friday afternoon. A lot of people are at work. Okay, what people watched for the most part was last night's presidential debate. Yeah, some people may watch this rally. Again, I think the undecided voters watching this are thinking to themselves, how come this Biden didn't show up at last night's debate? And we'll be speculating even more about what's going on with his health, his drugs, whatever's going on there. But even again, on top of that, are people going to remember this speech, or are they going to remember the debate that millions of people watched? It is such insane cope. But you know what? Let them keep running with it, because now suddenly the Democrats, and you'll see in a second, have re-inspired their own confidence in Joe Biden because of this one single speech. They're saying the panic is over. Yes, we can run Joe Biden. And I say, okay, let them do that. You know, let them keep shooting themselves in the foot, because we know that, you know, you can pump Biden up with stimulants a couple times allegedly, but ultimately the American people as a whole do not have a lot of faith in his stability, his health, or his peer leadership. And that's of course true. But again, this speech, they were saying that, you know, Joe Biden is in perfect physical condition. We can retcon last night's debate and not forget this. Okay, well, here was Jill Biden speaking for him on the stage. First of all, sounding more articulate than Joe. And then secondly, you look at Joe Biden here, still looking lost and confused. So yeah, did they definitely stimulate Biden a little bit here? Sure. I did get a comment saying that people with dementia or Alzheimer's, they tend to struggle more in the evening time. So maybe that was why. Sure. But you can see here, Biden is still showing some of the seemingly signs of cognitive decline, because check it out.
Here in North Carolina and across America, who are working hard to find a secure place in the middle class. The moms who worry that their daughter. I saw in him then the
Look
same
at Biden's face, okay?
that I see in him today. And even though he has faced unimaginable tragedies, his optimism is undaunted. His strength is unshakable. His hope is undeterred.
I mean, seriously, folks. Okay, you can make the excuse he just doesn't know how to pose. He just wants a stupid look on his face. He's not in control of it. I don't believe that for a second. You know why? First of all, Joe Biden's been in politics for like 50 years. Are you seriously going to look at me and say, maybe he's just naive of his body language or something?
Ronald Reagan tax breaks, he gave specifics of what he was going to cut.
Absolutely not the case. Secondly, you don't think someone in his team has already pointed, hey, Joe, stop making these like lost, confused looking faces. It's not good. Stop standing like a freaking grandpa or something like that. Of course, they've told him these things. The point is the fact that we keep seeing videos like this again and again, especially recently, Biden has that lost and confused face, confirms that either he's just truly not mentally in control of it. He really is senile, or what, actually, no, that's exactly what it proves, in my opinion. Okay. So again, they're still trying to say that, hey, this proved Joe Biden there's no issues with his health. I don't think that's the case at all. I think you still saw plenty of those signs, even though they had him stimulated and focused much more than last night's debate. I still don't think that's true. And as you can see from this clip here, here's a little compilation. Joe Biden is still struggling to get certain words out. Take a listen.
Donald Trump says he thinks overturning Roe v. Wade was a beautiful thing.
Pause right there. Okay, so again, somehow they magically cured his voice. I don't know how they did that. Whole thing's kind of shady. They stimulated him. He's more awake. But the guy's still struggling to speak. And the guy clearly, you can see the look on his face. I mean, he's not well. Okay, and that's an objective fact. So even though the Democrats are saying this was a huge victory, is it really though? Is it really? All right, let's keep listening.
My son was one of those people. Not a World War, but in the Vietnam. Folks, look.
He died in what? He died in World War Vietnam? Is that what you're trying to say? What? Hold on. Let's take a listen to that again. Because by the way, his son, Beau Biden, who died, he did not die in the Iraq war, but allegedly it was because of, chemicals he was exposed to. But he's talking about, hold on.
Not a World War, but in the Vietnam. My son was one of those people. Not a World War, but in the Vietnam.
My son was one of those people who died in World War de Vietnam. I'm assuming he's meant to say the rest. Okay, Joe, your son did not serve in either of those wars. All right. So strike one. Strike two is your son didn't die in the war. He died because of it. You could say, okay, whatever, connection. But that's the Iraq war. That's the Iraq war, Joe Biden. All right? Joe Biden's cognitive state was so good. This proves everything about last night. Does it really, though? Okay, let's keep listening.
Folks, look. I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to.
Okay, and again, I forgot to comment on this when we played that original clip. So Joe Biden basically concedes he lost last night's debate, but then he says, we're going to get back up. And the crowd cheered. Okay, good little moment for Joe. But big picture, is it a good look overall to admit that you lost? I get that he has to, but he's admitting he lost the debate. So are you really going to look at Joe Biden and say he's in a position of strength? If you really do, you're delusional. But I, fully encourage, I say, if you want to be delusional, go ahead. And this is what some liberals, actually many liberals, are saying in response to this speech. So, you see Biden Harris HQ running cover, but this guy right here, the Biden accomplishments guy, says, rip Democratic panic. Born June 27th at 9:01 p.m. Eastern time, died June 28th, 1:46 p.m. Eastern time. That was a miserable 17 hours. Let's not ever do it again. And this is what a lot of the left-wing influencers are saying. To which I say, again, if I were a Democrat, I'd still be very panicked. Because I wouldn't be so delusional as to believe the single worst debate performance in U.S. presidential history can mysteriously be erased because you gave one campaign speech that was largely more intelligible than the other night. It's one campaign speech. Oh my gosh, that's going to change the whole game. No, you're delusional. And on top of that, you were already losing in the polls, and then you bombed in the debate, so you're going to go down in the polls more. But he gave a speech in North Carolina, a state that he didn't even win in 2020, and is certainly not going to win in 24. Guys, we're so back. No, but at the same time, if that's what they want to keep telling themselves, I say go ahead, because I don't want them to replace Joe Biden. I think truly at this point, Biden as a nominee is Trump's best shot to winning the election. I above even Kamala Harris. I would say that right now, because for a long time, you really did think Kamala Harris would be somehow less electable than Joe Biden. But after last night, I don't think that's true, actually. So, obviously that. Newsom definitely would have a better shot than Biden because he's able to articulate himself, even though he's very sleazy and lies all the time. But, at least he's sharper than Biden. But so I say, if the Democrats, if this reinstates your faith in Biden as a candidate, then power to you. Okay. I will say it right here. I, as a Trump supporting conservative, endorse Joe Biden for the Democratic nomination. Please nominate him. Okay? Please do. After last night, I watched last night's debate and I said, that's the guy who should be the Democrat nominee. So he has my endorsement. All right. So I'm telling all of the Biden delegates at the convention, don't go rogue. Don't try to broker anything. Don't try to put Newsom in last minute. Joe Biden is obviously your guy. And you should listen to that advice. Truly, don't panic. You know what? Let's even retcon the entire situation. I will just go out and say, Joe Biden looked great at last night's debate, guys. Trust me, there is nothing wrong with him. Yeah, keep believing that. Keep believing that. With that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. What do you think of some of this cope that's going on from the Biden world? Give me your thoughts. Be sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until next time, Alpha Moves only. God bless. Have a very great rest of your day and peace.